Hey, so I just wanted to make a video about, I meant to mention this in my Turkey video I just made, because Turkey has a bunch of earthquakes, but so I've got a theory about earthquakes. Their theory includes a molten core and tectonic plates shifting and all that in a bunch of cartoons. But there are shitloads of caves that we know of, and they're massive. They're really massive, and I think um, these caves are just pockets of survival from these mega structures. I mean, anyone that's looked into this topic of like meltology, the idea that these mountains being buildings, I mean, as above, so below, if they're flipped down, because I think we're probably like in the mid level or maybe just the upper, one third of whatever the world was that they built. And so we have these massive, massive holes that I think are actually part of these melted megastructures, basically. And I think that these cavities, probably some of them have some weak points, and they eventually collapse from the pressure from above and the sides, and then that ripples out and that causes an earthquake. I mean, these things are so big, these insanely big caves, that even if you're not into meltology and stuff, I think that the theory of these pockets, these cavities, these bubbles, collapsing would cause an earthquake. It's like this one we just found a few years ago, and this is the largest cave ever that we know of. It's got its own rainforest. It's just incredible, and I think this was a megastructure. I mean, even like the opening, like if there was a dome, you think about the big cathedrals and the ones with the massive domes like we see in the Middle East and stuff. The dome could have been, you know, uh, collapsed in or, whatever during the X Factor, so it leaves an opening. A lot of times these caves, you'll have these big open, like amphitheater type of area, and it'll be open up to the sky. So I think this is part of a megastructure, and a lot of these caves, if you look, you'll find little, pockets of structure and stuff like that. So, and also with these underground findings, there are sites that are very pristine, and also like they have to acknowledge that this was built, this was constructed. So in Istanbul, there's at least 100 of these cisterns that are underground, like water storage type place. I don't know the uh, mechanics of how it would work, but so this one is like 6 miles long. But look at the damage on the columns, and they say this was built in like 500 something, and that they recycled the columns and stuff from a building above ground. I mean, just insane. This Medusa head upside down on the base of this column. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what was this world? What's this message here? Like, that is bizarre. So I just wanted to show this just to show that there are pockets, massive pockets underground that were constructed. So if they built this underground in 500 whatever, they would have to come down here and excavate out, remove tons of earth, and then come in and do brickwork. You see red brick, and haul these columns in, take them down from another building and haul them down. I mean, just the narratives that were told are just preposterous once you start, really looking at the details. So this is the outside of where that one of those cisterns, and you can see the bricks are very damaged, they're deformed, blown out, heat expanded, misshapen, and they wouldn't have built this way, especially if the underground section was going to be, done with elaborate Medusa, bases to columns and stuff. But yeah, you can see where some of the rocks, well, bricks, but they look like rocks now, are formed together and kind of jigsawed together. It's just damaged, heat damaged. This is also in Turkey, and this whole tunnel system is called Derinkuyu, and they say that this is carved, but within this whole complex we find, bricks, brick lines, brick sections of walls, stone sections of walls. And this rock does look to be soft. I watched a video where a guy was doing a tour and he like rubbed his hand up against the wall to show that it was, anyway, he got like dust on it, like white dust on his hand from it. So maybe it is soft enough that they could carve it, but this thing is 18 stories deep. It could house like 20,000 people or something ridiculous like that. And why would they have little sections of a brick wall? And then you have, you know, sites like this, and there's tons of these too. Little pocket of survival where it's like this castle that's embedded into a mountain, you know. And I kept this one in because the tunnels into the mountain below ground. So I think this whole structure, like look at this circle right there. Like what was that? This whole, I was just looking, look, there's more down here. If you look, I circled it bad. Sorry, my thumb was in the way. So I think this whole rock, mountain, whatever you want to call it, was part of the structure, and that's why there's just tunnels in there that happen to survive. So this is within and under that mountain, and you can see there's these like brick sectionals that don't make any sense. Like, why would they put that there? What function is that serving? And over here you can see where it was like blocks, but they're blown out and look like big stones now. This is in the same location. And we've got a rock curtain kind of folding over the top here. I don't think that rock was already here, and then they added in this section here, and then they added in this section here and did some archways. Like you can see over here where the transition takes place. Right there. And even down here, here's another closed-in archway. And over here, look, bring it up closer. We got red brick. See those red bricks? 1, 2, 3, 4. See all the little red bricks peeking out? So you can look into mines and tunnels and underground cities and cisterns and all the rest, and you'll start noticing the pattern that this is all basically buried. It got buried in this meltdown, this cataclysm. It just swallowed up little pockets, little cavities, and so now they're, who knows how damn deep it goes, but I imagine it's something like a castle in reverse. I mean, not a castle, a mountain in reverse. That's possibly how deep it goes. And so if these things are as massive as the ones we know of, I mean, I'm talking about like the buildings too, like the buildings that are pristine and intact, the basilicas and stuff, they're so massive. If their grand hall was underground, or it was the size of a mountain like we see, that would cause the earth to quake if it collapsed. And then just to drive this home a little bit more, so there are several cave explorers that I watch on YouTube. It's fascinating, but this is like from this China crew, and they go in these big caves that nobody knows anything about. Everybody avoids them because of superstition and blah blah blah. But they find all this structure deep within these massive caves. As you can see, I mean, this is clearly not natural. Got melted steps. And this is easy to find. Like, they've got tons of videos that show this kind of stuff. And there's other cave explorers I've watched too, same thing. And they just, the way that they rationalize it, they're just like, oh, this is man-made, and this must have been, you know, they just create this little narrative, this localized narrative, and they don't see the pattern. Like these guys, I don't know how many caves they've been in that have this kind of relics or pockets left, but they just make a little excuse for each individual place. So yeah, it just goes on, and you can see where they melt as they go down. This is like an actual like castle, top to a castle. He's got these pathways, red bricks, an archway, a little bridge. So yeah, I just wanted to get this out there, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.